Welcome, everyone. Tonight we're going to be talking about how to maintain your health during a pandemic, which the world is experiencing in one form or another, depending on location. So tonight we're going to be mindful about that, talk about strategies, ways to maintain well-being, not just with physical health, but talking about diet in general, referring to what we consume, starting with thought, here tonight at the stream. My name is Vincent Carleton, and if you are just joining us for the first time, please do click subscribe on the bottom right so you can be kept updated with all of the videos that we release. It's about polymath education for self-discovery. My name is William Vincent Carleton. We are here to say hello tonight, so you know that I'm real and in Mexico. Mexico is the best to go. We have less cases of pandemic COVID-19. Let's dive in here. Let's talk, okay? Because we need to have a talk. It's an interesting perspective to be observing everything that's going on in the United States while I'm living here in Mexico. I get stuff from my folks, my parents that are elderly now. They're on enough in years to where they are the most supposedly vulnerable to this affliction. I feel like the name coronavirus is like Voldemort. I almost don't want to say it. So I'm going to try to avoid it as much as possible. Why do I want to avoid such a thing? Think about the cumulative effect of billions of people saying the same word. Okay? You may not think it has any sort of impact or anything to do with well-being or state of mind or ease of life, when in fact it has everything to do with it. Let's take now the example, billions of people, okay? And we're all going to be, instead of hunkering down in our bunkers with some form of fear guiding our actions because we're not out enjoying life as we used to. Imagine instead billions of people hunking down in their house and making pure intentions for the health of their neighbors, themselves, and their families. Just pretending, I'm saying fake it until you make it if it's not sincere, at least doing the exercise. If we could do that for an hour with billions of people, we would be close to world peace, honestly. But because fear is the immediate response, and this is largely due to our own evolution, we used to be prepared for fear. We used to be prepared to handle it. It was one of these things where, yes, we may be attacked by a saber-toothed tiger or some impending, calamitous event. And after it's overcome, if it is overcome, we go to our cave or wherever our safety zone is. And it's just, it's literally the deep breath, right? And what is that all about? I love explaining this to people because I take great enjoyment in explaining that it's the natural way of turning the switch of the central nervous system from being in fight or flight mode, which, by the way, if you're going out buying toilet paper, if you're consuming, afraid, and in your bunker at home, I'm happy that you're tuning in, but I'm not happy that has taken priority over well-being. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your nervous system is like. If you're investing in the system that is the coronavirus, if you're investing in the word and the idea and the fear, then you're perpetuating and adding to the snowball effect, number one. And number two, lowering defenses. Number three, making an affirmation that's going to continue the energy accumulation of this thing that's destroying a number of systems, and we'll talk about that tonight. More than anything else, it's removing the capacity for the creative self to surge forth and do something of value for self and family, neighbor, community, country, world. However you want to look at it, it's having a major impact on your capacity to be able to serve. I haven't been live for a few nights, and I've been in contemplation and also had issues with drop frames. I'll just be honest with you. But a part of this has been hesitation talking about all this now. It's just necessary. It seems every single webpage that we go to, the word pops into your brain, right? It's there on the screen. It doesn't even matter if the site has nothing to do. Like I went to Canva tonight because I do a lot of my designs through canva.com. And the freaking COVID-19 pops up on the bottom right. And I'm not even going to read it. It has nothing to do with what my purpose is on this website. But it seems as if everyone needs to make the affirmation. It's like, wow, think about the power. If every single website you went to and every single person you were talking to, they stopped you for a second. You said, wow, do you feel how incredibly strong this affirmation of love is? Have you heard what's going on? Yeah, this celebrity's got it. Went online tonight and started talking about how much they love their neighbors and how much they believe in their health and how much they will be there for them in a given moment if they need that help. No, right now it's like the Titanic has already cracked in half. Everyone knows there are casualties, and even though it's, women and children first, you still see men like the Billy Zane character dressing up as a woman to escape. I think we're kind of at that point now. I'm telling folks right now, listen, I believe I'm fortunate being in Mexico. I am. Much less cases, much less talk about it. And yet, at the same time, the streets are starting to empty. So it's an interesting thing. Anyway, I promised everyone that we would be talking about how to maintain health during a pandemic, right? I promised everyone that I would mention 7 mindful ways, or 7 ways to be mindful during a pandemic. So here's how you do it. Let's start with number 1. And you can guess whether or not I'm doing this off the cuff. All right. All materialization of your reality, including your physical health, your mental health, your economic health, your overall status of success, all of this depends on mindset. And it starts there. So if you're not starting with your mind repeating the affirmations that, wow, okay, it's a pandemic right now, but it's likely there are some opportunities within this for me to either extend my service to communities, to be able to educate myself or others. But you have to have the mindset. If you don't have the mindset and you don't have affirmations that are going against what you're being exposed to right now, those affirmations of sickness are just going to consume you. They're going to consume you, and you're not going to have an opportunity to, well, it's going to be tough to dig yourself out of the hole. Let's just say it that way. So that's number 1. Be mindful. You have to start with the mind. And 2, you're going to use these affirmations. I love giving these affirmations because people usually get it right away. And a lot of folks get caught up on how to do an affirmation right. I'm going to make it very simple for you. Okay? This is what you need to do. You need to throw out the past, and you need to throw out the future, and you need to focus on the present moment, right now. How do you do that with language? You're going to speak in the present tense. So you're going to say, I am healthy. You're going to write this down. Write it right down on a piece of paper. I am healthy. My family is healthy. I have gainful employment, and I am generating income for myself and others to provide for my family and my loved ones. Do you notice what I'm saying? I'm not saying I want to have enough money so I can care for my family and loved ones. No, if you want those things, then you're going to dive into the world of fear, which is manifesting necessity. It's not manifesting that which is material and in your life and actually happening so you can really enjoy that. No, that's not happening. Urgency is happening the moment that you say, I want, or I wish, or I need, or if I only could. No. You've got to remove those options from the table. They don't serve you. And they never will. And it's especially prevalent or evident during these times of pandemic. So be very mindful, number one, of thoughts. 2, learn how to use present tense when you're making your affirmations. 3, your affirmations need to be something that eliminate necessity. So you're going to use the verb to be and to have. So I am healthy is to use to be in the present moment, present tense, to indicate a state of health. I have is to say good health. I have good health. I have a good job. I have everything I need. I have access to my family. That was a big one for me for a long time. I have access to my family, and I am a good father, no matter what anyone says. When people are saying things that are contrary to your goals, which is inevitable, this is step number 4. When people are talking to you in a way that is extremely negative or going against the affirmations that you have made, the first step, which is part of, it's really 4. I'm going to give 5 as the secondary option. But the first one is to imagine cotton going in your ears. You're not going to listen to these people, okay? So you can tune them out. That's step 4. Or instead of tuning them out, because sometimes it may be too difficult because everyone and their grandma and grandpa are talking about COVID-19. What you're going to do is this really cool trick, and this was taught to me by U.S. Anderson in Success Cybernetics, which I've talked about before. You are going to imagine when the person says it to you, let's give an example. Oh my God, I don't know when I'm going to when I'll be able to leave my house again. And I'm thinking to myself, in my mind, the person is saying, oh my God, I love going out to the empty streets and enjoying the parks and enjoying the peace that otherwise wouldn't be here if it weren't for this unbelievably beautiful gift of fear that, the large majority has fears, so therefore I can take advantage and enjoy this moment. So instead of imagining the person saying something about the catastrophic effects of a pandemic, you're thinking the opposite. The person says, you're a fool to be going out right now. You're going to get sick, right? I'm sure you're going to hear that. I'm sure you're going to hear that. You're going to think, I am so intelligent to be going out right now because I'm healthy, and it starts with the mind. Because I remember step number 1. So you're imagining step number 1, and that 5 is the reversal. 6. Please, please, please don't give up physical intimacy for the sake of you feeling like you're going to be healthy. I'm telling you, this is to your detriment. If you're not hugging the people that you love, if you're not holding hands when you're going for a walk, if this starts to decline, you need to have a sit down with your loved ones and you need to talk. That intimacy is so sacrosanct. It should never be sacrificed, no matter what. Hold on to the intimacy It releases oxytocin. It will make your immune system stronger than if you're trying to strengthen it using artificial means, i.e. hand sanitizer, washing your hands. Those things will remove bacteria from your hands. Do you know you have bacteria in your body right now? Sorry to say this, if you didn't know. Do you know that at any given moment, your intentions are going to indicate to that bacteria whether or not it survives and thrives in your body or fades? You may not believe that, right? Well, for those who don't believe, let's just go to statistics. Let's talk science. Do you know what the strongest medication is in this world? The greatest cure-all for all things in this world. Do you know what it is? Can you guess? I'm going to jump over to chat to see if there's anyone giving the answer. No guesses, huh? The answer is placebo. And if for those who don't know what a placebo is, it's basically just sugar water. It's designed as an agent to collect data during an experiment. Someone's given a specific substance that's supposed to have an effect on the mind or body. And then someone's given, a control group is given a specific placebo to see how the psychological effect of believing one is being cured and becoming healthy, the impact of that, it's always the highest. It's always the strongest effect in terms of people's health. It's placebo. Which is to say, the mind controls our sickness and not the other way. Sickness doesn't say to the mind, now it's time to feel good because I'm saying we're good. No, the mind says I'm good and the body follows. The body listens. So be mindful of continuing the idea of being intimate with your loved ones to let them know that you love them, right? And coming full circle is to educate through example. What I'm trying to do right now, what I'm making a sincere effort with, is to show my face and to educate through example that I am healthy and that I'm not going to change my health for the sake of placating a society of billions that believe that now is the time for us to be in our homes to avoid something rather than serving and growing and adapting and thinking for a moment, wow, it's interesting to me. The President of the United States is a businessman. He owns a number of hotels and casinos. And suddenly, there is this major cry out for $250 billion US dollars to bail out the hotel industry. Hotels that are just going under. And I think back, this is an interesting story I want to share. I haven't shared this yet. I've only thought about it myself, thinking I'm going to share this. About 7 years ago, so over 7 years ago, I had gotten married, almost 8 years ago. And in the beginning, most of the celebrations and things were going on in Cancun, Quintana Roo. So for those who don't know Mexico, we're talking the East Coast, the Caribbean side of the Republic of Mexico. It's beautiful. And you have a number of places you can visit. The most popular that you'll know of is Cancun, and it's just been Americanized. And basically it's debauchery. I mean, you're going to senior frogs and they're using wood chips to soak up the puke. There's just debauchery. But if you go further south, you can start to come across these really beautiful areas. I'm talking cenotes, if you haven't been to them. And I had my wedding ceremony there. And we received a gift from family to go and stay for our honeymoon, so to speak, in this area called Puerto Morelos, which is between Cancun and Playa del Carmen. Okay? So in between those two places, there's this expat type of refuge. And there's El Cid, which is this resort type of hotel setup where it's all inclusive. You get a, wristband and you just stay there and be a glutton. Well, all of this is to say, one night, my now ex-wife and I, we were invited in the hotel lobby to come into this side lobby, and they said, "Here, have a pina colada." And I'm like, "Cool, pina colada. We've been drinking these all week anyway, so let's have another." And the meal was a little more special than what was available at the buffet. Okay. And then they pull us aside. They pull us aside into this room, and it's just filled with couples. And they're being talked to by these high-pressure salespeople that are just driving home statistics and showing them graphs on a computer and asking them what they think of that, and asking them then this whole profile of questions about their own income and, their savings and disposable income, all of that. And as they were asking me these questions, I was just becoming more and more skeptical. And finally, at the end, I had, nudged my wife at the time and, basically told her, "Let's get the hell out of here. That I don't want to be a part of this anymore." And so she agreed. And the person that has been trying to pitch this the entire time was a nice enough guy. I want to say he was from Scotland, and he was there. And you would hear when someone was able to pitch the sale and close, everyone would cheer. And what they were selling were these leases to El Cid and other hotels within the chain, which wouldn't give you any sort of equity. So you wouldn't have equity in terms of owning property, but you would have access to this hotel as if it were like a timeshare, where you would have all you could eat buffet and a special area reserved just for those who have signed these contracts. If you're vacationing all year round and you don't have and you have financial freedom, I could see how potentially this could be a good option. Aside from that, it's a recipe for disaster and piggybacking off of the housing crisis market and that whole marketing campaign. However, those specific hotels, they can stay afloat while people aren't staying at the hotel. It's a very smart move, very, very intelligent. Why am I telling you all this? What's the purpose of me explaining all of this? I'll tell you. My prediction is that the coronavirus was created for a number of reasons, largely economical, only one of which, is to cause an extreme bailout of the United States corporations that run hotels and casinos, hospitality management in some way that affects tourism. And as everyone remains in their homes and aren't vacationing, I can tell you the prices of flights have gone down. It's $51 to fly round trip from Cancun, or from Mexico City to Cancun. So guess who's going? Yours truly. You're going to see prices plummet because people just aren't going to go on vacation. They're going to be staying at home. So what this means is that a large majority of hospitality-based businesses are going to fail, including those who are doing Airbnb. They're going to feel the pressure and they're likely going to close shop. Who else will be closing shop? The mom and pops. We're looking at about 70% of the earnings of Mexico are unreported. I heard this statistic from an actuary I was talking to today. Studies the economy quite a bit, and he said, Mexico's earnings are pretty decent. They're just mostly under the table and unreported. And so this is going to have a major effect on people because most of these businesses are food-based or hospitality-based, and they're not insured or protected in the traditional way, and they're really living day by day. In other words, it's work to earn, to spend and survive, and it doesn't go beyond that, really. So these are the folks that are going to get hit the hardest, and they already have been hit. You can see it in people's faces, and you can see it in the lack of lines around their businesses that are normally there. This is just in Mexico City. Why am I telling you all this? Well, $250 billion. Just think about the impact of $250 billion just from the sake of interest being injected into a community, how much of an impact that would have. 1 million pesos, which I want to say, I'm not doing my math correctly, I want to say is around $50,000 now. $50,000 can support 100 families in Mexico that earn the basic amount. They could be living in the pueblo, low earners, obviously. But 1 million pesos can support 50 families in Mexico per year. Can you believe it? And we're looking at $250 billion. It's just an astronomical amount of money. It's just unheard of. You could buy multiple islands and equip them with hotels. So here's what I predict is going to happen. The companies that can't make it in the hotel entertainment industry, they are going to close, and their properties are going to go up for sale. Turnkey. They're going to be ready to go. And President of the United States, who is deeply involved in this business, is going to be buying up these properties using the money that was given as a bailout while he gives up his salary. He's going to be buying all of these properties in these turnkey establishments with the American people's money, because you know that this money for the bailouts is being given by the Federal Reserve, which is a privatized company, where every single dollar needs to be paid back by the U.S. people at interest. So the money is lent by the Federal Reserve to the government to bail out the companies that have put out of business all of the hotels that are non-U.S. based, acquiring lands and properties at the same time, and then sell this all back to the countries of origin and sell this back to all the tourists once the pandemic dies down, because it will. It will, and then all of a sudden they're going to be offering all of these wonderful vacation packages, and people are going to be jumping on it. So the money is going to be paid to these new bosses who have brought a lot of jobs into the economy. Of course, the least American jobs. You think about it. You're buying up all these hotels that were normally used to hire people of the origin of the country origin. They have been laid off. So unemployment goes up in the country of origin. The bailout money that's paid for by the United States people is used to purchase these properties. And then their money, they're spending as well to go on vacation at these properties that really they should own, because the money was taken from them to bail out companies that are selling it back. And this is the same shit that has been happening over and over and over again in history. Just, pulling Swifties on people. All of this is to say, I've given you the 7 steps. Look at this as an opportunity for yourself to change your life. Look at it as an opportunity to understand that these companies and, every single president in U.S. history has had some form of corruption and have been involved in personal interest. And it's part of the job. I just have to say it. It's part of the job, If you're looking at any modern day political position, you're going to find very few people who have 100% integrity the same way they do at home as they do in the office. That's just how it is. It's unfortunate, but it's how it is. I mean, aside from like Ron Paul's family, I don't even know who to say. And it's because it comes with the territory. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm saying that these individuals that are taking advantage of it, they know that this is an opportunity. And I'm saying to everyone, money doesn't stay parallel or side by side with good people or even people that do good deeds. Money is very much like a video game. To acquire it, it requires understanding why something is happening and trying to do something before everyone else does in order to benefit in some way. There's no way you couldn't pay me to stay at home. You couldn't pay me to stay at home. I'm serious. And that's what the U.S. is going to be doing. I've been told $1,000 per person in the States. Who's going to be paying that back? We're going to be paying it back in interest. I think about these things. So as we move forward into better health, be mindful of your thoughts. That's number 1. Okay? Be sure to use affirmations that are in the present moment. Use affirmations using to be and to have. Be also aware of what people say to you. And they're saying something that goes in contrary with your own goals, put cotton in your ears. And if that doesn't work, start imagining that the person is saying something, but it's actually the opposite of what they're saying. So for example, if they say to you, you're poor, you're thinking I'm rich. Okay? Don't give up affection. Please continue close to your family, friends, and loved ones. It is that fear that feeds this anomaly that has consumed everyone's minds. And finally, coming into number 7, does anyone remember the last thing? Because I'm having trouble remembering it. Now, be affectionate, but in the same light, remember that this is a time for you to change your life and for opportunity. To come back full circle and actually reap something from this that is a decent harvest that you're going to be proud of will be to create something during this time. So create. Be the spirit that is moving energy. Why? This week is the week of the spring equinox, which is arguably one of the most powerful weeks of the year in terms of setting intentions and planting seeds, doing things new and manifesting new things in your life. Tomorrow is going to be the most powerful day of the year, likely. One of the most powerful. I would say out of the top 5, definitely in the top 5. So you use the energy. You know, really the only thing that's not moving in our favor this week is the moon cycle, which is just about coming into the waxing moon again. So we're talking about Jupiter energy tomorrow, sun energy tomorrow, super amplified. You know, it's just powerful. Take advantage of it and imagine a better life for yourself instead of being fearful. The last thing I want to tell you is that I'm here for you. You can send me an email to williamofthesun, S-U-N, @gmail.com anytime. You send me an email, I will respond. If you're concerned that you need counseling, help, you want someone to speak with you, you want some healing energy sent your way, ask so that I can serve you. Okay? And I thank everyone for listening. You know, tonight we're talking about how to maintain health during a pandemic. And you know, you see somebody washing their hands, and wash the mind. Wash the mind. Clear it out. You've received a lot of input. A lot of it was uninvited. And you're going to continue to receive uninvited information. Anytime you see those COVID-19 notices or coronavirus, all I want you to do is think about the manifestation of your goals and dreams. Let it be the cue for the manifestation of your goals and dreams. You're going to find your life change instantaneously. Talk about tomorrow being one of the most powerful days of your life. Everything changing. So start there. Let me know how it goes. Give me feedback. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching.